Welcome back to my Homegirl's Couch, your space for real, raw, and unfiltered conversations with me, Taylor Metzger.
Shay Lyriq. And your girl, Justice Franklin. I am so excited for today's episode because joining us on our couch today is my favorite healer here in Kansas City, who also happens to be my cousin, Ashli Mays.
Hey. Hey, clap, clap. I'm doing the sound effects.
Ashley is a certified life coach. She is a hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner, which if y'all are like me, I was wondering what that stood for. So it stands for a neuro-linguistic practitioner.
Correct.
So like basically changes your thought pattern, like what you speak and what you think, it brings into existence type of like practice, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, of course, pay attention to all of what you're saying and what you're thinking, because what you think and what you say will be brought into your existence. Ashley is also a Reiki Level 2 practitioner, owner of Meraki Wellness Coaching. So if you are needing a positive life and mind transformation, Ashley is your girl. With expertise in mindset shifts, subconscious reprogramming, and energy healing, Ashley empowers individuals to break through limitations and step into their highest selves. And just to add a little sprinkle on top, Ashley is also a phenomenal artist who specializes in painting murals.
Yay.
Welcome, Ashley.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Hello.
How you feeling today?
I feel good. How about you ladies?
Good.
I feel pretty good.
Got some wine going.
Right.
With the girls. Yeah.
It's not
a
too hot,
Saturday.
but it's not that cold outside. It's like,
I just want the
moderate.
sunshine back, though.
That part.
Yeah.
That gloom is not it.
yeah. I
Last
definitely
week was
agree.
wonderful. It was like almost summer weather.
Yeah.
That was yesterday.
It's been like, yeah. I was literally about to say, it's been like that all week. Oh, I do want it back, though. It's supposed to come back.
When? This week?
Mhm.
Thank God.
Yeah, I seen something on my little thing saying it was supposed to come back.
I seen 50s.
50s?
Yeah.
I seen that too, but I seen like some set days that's going to be in the 70s.
Next week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yes. Oh, y'all. And I just know it's because of like, a lot of this shit is because of global warming and climate change.
It really is so.
Like,
I just think it's an energy shift. I just get so happy when the sun is out.
Irrational fear of mine. I keep thinking that we're going to become like a Day After Tomorrow movie. You know, where the ice age comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, New York gets frozen over. All these people die. The world's got to
Yes.
reset and shit. I'm not equipped for that,
They
guys.
say that there's going to be hurricanes and tsunamis that are going to wipe out California, Oregon.
Don't tell me that. I want to move to
They
California.
predicted it in the next 10 years.
yeah.
That breaks
Oh,
my
yeah.
heart.
And like California is like literally sinking too.
Y'all.
It is.
Them
I
and Florida.
used to live
Florida
there,
too.
What?
Oh, yeah. You know what's crazy? I think about that too. Like, why can't, like the apocalyptic type shit to happen in our lifetime? And I think it's speeding up because of how much pollution and, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
them
want to say no
damn baby
names, but
boomers.
political parties that's in power that don't want to do anything about climate change.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like it one bit. Like, but one thing I can say, in Day After Tomorrow, I remember specifically Kansas City was below the line where you could at least make it to Mexico to survive. So we
Very
might be in the
comforting.
clear since we're in the middle.
Want a road trip?
I don't think I've seen Day After Tomorrow. Now that
Oh,
you're
you need to watch
describing
it.
that.
It's a great
Good.
movie. Great movie.
Who's in it?
Jake
Um,
Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah.
It's the only one that I knew and cared
what's-
about at the
Dennis,
time.
Dennis
did it
Quaid
come
is in
out?
there.
Yes. Oh my God. I can't believe I did
Day
Dennis
After
Quaid like
Tomorrow?
that. Yeah.
When did it come out?
Girl,
Oh,
like
a while ago.
2001
It
or
was
some
that-
crazy shit.
Yeah, it was around that time where all of the movies were kind of like the world is ending.
Mm-hmm.
It's called predictive programming. They tell us what's going to happen in their
And then
our
it happens.
movies, so they desensitize us to it.
Like the Jetsons. The Jetsons did
The
say that.
Simpsons.
The
Yeah.
Jetsons did say we was gonna have flying cars.
Oh yeah.
Did y'all see that they just debuted their first flying car?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
You know,
Girl,
with all of the
yes.
Don't
issues
tell me
with
it was
planes
Tesla.
right
It
now.
was. It was
Don't-
Tesla.
Ugh.
Of course it was.
It's gonna crash.
It
Like,
had to be Tesla.
yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure
have
it's
no
Tesla
faith
and
in this
all
car.
that.
What was
Isn't
that
that a real
movie?
thing though? I'm not tripping off that, am
With
I?
Julia Roberts. The one with where all the Teslas were crashing. What's the name of it?
Yes, I know what you're talking
Black
about. It's on
Box or Bird
Netflix.
Box
No,
or
that's
That's Sandra Bullock.
The world was.
The world is ours.
They
or
was
something like that.
yeah.
The world is
So
ending or
basically,
something like that.
so basically, we were getting invaded by like
Aliens?
yeah,
cyber
we were having a
different
cyber attack.
territory. Yeah, like a cyber
Yeah,
attack.
and everything just crashed.
And then they were like putting this like pollution in the air, but it wasn't like regular pollution. It was like sound pollution.
They were using, the military actually. Those weapons exist. The military has them.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I paid that close attention.
We are energy.
It's like
we are. Oh, sorry to interrupt you. But we are energy, so we are manipulated by frequency.
Yes. That's why certain songs can evoke certain emotions.
But
that's why
you
motherfuckers are getting
Just
beat
said
up
that.
and stomped out to Lil Jon back in the day.
Listen, I went and seen
I was on his
the new Captain
yeah.
America. That's funny you say that because in the new Captain America, that's literally the basis of like what like the big plot behind the movie was.
Really?
I told you predictive.
Yeah, because
programming,
like
they tell
this,
you everything
the
they're
former
doing.
Captain America. Oh, I'm such a movie spoiler because girl, I'll tell
That's
you.
okay. Look.
I'm such a movie
I don't mind
spoiler.
it.
So basically, spoiler alert. So the former Captain America, like the one before Mackie. I think his name is.
Chris Evans.
No, not
But with his
girl.
name, Steve Rogers.
No, the black Captain America.
That's Anthony Mackie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sam Wilson.
It's Sam Wilson. Why did I think his name was like Mackie or something?
That's his
Anthony
real name.
Mackie.
Anthony
Mackie.
Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was like trying to think. I was like, no, I swear his name was Mackie. Anthony Mackie. So that's the one I watched. But the Captain America before him. So I don't know his name.
Chris Evans. Steve Rogers.
Oh, okay. I'm not clearly, as I'm sitting there trying to preach. But anyways, he had like this beef
Regardless.
with the president, and they were like, "No, just get over it. Like it's okay. Like bygones be bygones." Basically. But anyways, fast forward, so they go to a president's dinner because Captain America just saved somebody. Whoop to whoop. And during the dinner and the toast, the former Captain America tries to shoot the president, but the current Captain American was like, "No, that's not him." So they found out that like he was being programmed with something that happened on his phone, like it flashed like 3 times or something like that, but like it was like a brain reprogramming.
Yeah.
Based off of like sound, like what was going on, like it triggered like his flip on switch, like tee up.
Y'all need to look up MK Ultra because that's also a real thing.
MK Ultra is a big one with the Tuskegee
control.
Airmen.
Where the fuck is this
the
conversation
Tuskegee-
going?
Oh, it's going in a great
Tuskegee
direction.
experiment?
Yeah.
Look, no black person ever should trust this government.
Ever.
Any of them.
Ever.
Tuskegee experiment. They injected 300 black men with syphilis and told them it was some kind of vaccine to help them and killed them all.
Yeah, and it was just to see the reaction of what was going to happen.
It was an experiment.
It was like literal,
I don't remember
like
seeing this.
you
like
won't see
hamsters.
it. You gotta be
Yeah.
on that level.
Okay, clearly y'all connected.
They was treating them like test monkeys and shit. Like, and another good movie that like brings up that point too was They Clone Tyrone.
Oh,
that
yes.
one
yes,
threw me for
yes.
a
They
fucking
clone Tyrone,
They
how
clone
they
Tyrone
put it
is
in the
good.
food, hair
Yeah.
products.
Yes,
Yes.
that is a good one.
That was one where
Everything
I
that
was
I
just
love.
sitting there and I was
Music,
so entranced
food,
in
hair.
them.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, they got my ass.
This is a
They got me.
This is a really fun fact, but women take on 5 pounds of toxic chemicals every year with beauty products. And if women
About
stopped,
women's tampons.
if
Yep.
women stopped buying beauty products for one day, the entire economy would crash.
You think so?
I know so. It's a proven fact.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
That's why I do the all natural stuff.
I ain't got time for Eastside.
Well,
I ain't got time for him.
no, me and
That's a point.
me and Shay just had a conversation about, women's products, and I was like, I refuse to wear tampons because of the lead
Yeah,
that has been found in them.
That's why when you
and-
had the honey pots, I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I just learned, in my real estate class, I take my test on Tuesday, y'all. The lead-based paint addendum that's in everything. If your home was built before like the 78 or something, my professor was telling me about like what lead does to your body when it gets into your body, and it basically just decays it from the inside out.
Yeah.
And when I found out that the government was putting lead in our tampons, I was like,
I ain't seen that article, girl. I still use tampons.
Yeah, you
that
can
was
still use
everywhere.
Honey
Like
Pot is
this
a
last
brand
year.
that doesn't use toxic chemicals.
But wasn't it something controversial that came out with Honey Pot because they sold their rights to the company and a bigger corporation bought them and they were scared that the ingredients was going to change? Story of every black product's life. But yeah, like
I didn't hear about that one. I just saw
Yeah.
the lead for Tampax was like the major one for
Oh
it.
yeah, the most common one.
Yeah, is Tampax.
They were putting recycled tires in women's tampons.
Jesus Christ.
Girl, what?
Look, they're going after our reproductive abilities. They're trying to depopulate the United States, well, the world, really.
Which was, excuse me, y'all. Which I don't understand, because why would you ban abortion? What's the point of banning abortions and things like that? I feel like it's for a specific group of women to be able to produce babies, because white people ain't producing enough kids. Their what is it called? Their mortality rate is like kind of wonky. Like they die more than they have kids. And so I think they trying to get white women back at home. It ain't got nothing to do, like, when it comes to women's reproductive rights. They don't want us to populate no more. Like, they don't give a fuck about us, but they want white women back at home making them damn babies.
Well, that's not
50 years, in 50 to 100 years, like, everybody gonna be looking like Justice.
I've seen the
beautiful.
Right, bitch. What the bitch?
Beautiful.
That ain't nothing bad.
A beautiful woman.
But white people don't want everybody to look like you.
What you mean?
Well, I ain't gonna say white people, because I'm sure y'all don't care. But
What?
Because I gotta understand this. What you mean? Explain.
So, America is known for like being like blended and things like that. As more people immigrate to America and white people become like a minority in America, it's going to be more race mixing. And guess what? Everybody gonna be light skinned with color eyes.
They actually have predicted throughout the entire world, though, that the majority of the population within like the next 100 years is going to be mixed.
Yeah, that's been a thing for a while.
Well, damn, I feel a little attacked over here, son.
Don't feel attacked.
It's all right. I got one of you at home.
Like,
I want you at home. So
yeah.
I'm already on the train.
Dang.
Yeah, like, that's a fact. But that's what
I
they
ain't
trying.
heard that.
I feel like that's what a lot of white supremacists are trying to prevent. They don't want it to be like no mix, nothing. They want the third right to come back.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
also
shit.
That's why nationalism is such on the rise. People are becoming more bold with their racism, and like, it's just more out there. And political parties and these corporations are becoming more blatant with how disrespectful they are becoming to
the DEI
minorities and things like that. Yeah,
that at all.
And think about it. But who's the main beneficiary of DEI? White women. They could get y'all back at home. Think of, what was that show? Handmaid's Tale.
That's what I was about
Handmaid's
to say.
Tale.
Handmaid's Tales. It's literally where people lose their reproductive.
The
and then they have to-
desensitizing again.
Yes. Totalitarian system.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
soon, because if they could
Y'all
take
really
away
think we're gonna
women's
be up
rights.
here marching like Handmaid's Tale? Come on now.
Nah, I think a zombie apocalypse.
I
is
think
gonna
too many
happen.
people are waking up to what's going on.
This is the age
for
of
it.
Aquarius.
This is the age of Aquarius. We
What,
came out
that's
of
supposed
Pisces.
to
An air sign.
We were in
Fellow air
Pisces, which is
sign.
masculine. Now we're in Aquarius, which is feminine. So all the truth is coming out, all the agendas, all the politics, everything.
Yeah.
And people are really waking up to what it is that's going on. Like, you're clearly woke enough to have these conversations. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I try to, and you know what's crazy? I was going through that phase to where I was, like, downloading so much information, but it felt good. Like, it felt so refreshing and renewed to be able to, like, learn this new information. It's very empowering once you do learn new things, especially spiritually. Like, I started learning about the, like, different densities of the universe and things like that.
All the different frequency levels.
Mm-hmm.
The vibration,
Densities,
the
hold up.
vibration from emotions. Different emotions
Yes.
have different frequencies.
Yep.
Densities, though? I've heard of frequencies. What's densities?
I like, they said, damn, see, now I gotta remember. It was a long time ago. But
Yeah, what's it do?
the densities is like, for example, like Earth, like, we're not that high in the, like, density level. I think it's seven different levels of density. Like, the lowest is like shit, one dimensional, like shit. Second is like things that have life and stuff like that. I believe it's like bacteria shit. Third density is like us. Fourth density is when you like are out of your more so energy, I believe.
Your etheric body.
Yeah.
We're talking about like when you living on 5D and 4D
Like
when
your
they be saying
dimensions.
like that.
Yeah. Like dimension.
Okay.
It's kind of related to that. it was a long time. It was like 3-4 years ago when I found out about it.
Okay.
But it was super interesting because they said, like, it's how you get to your higher self. Like, for example, Jesus was like on like the 4th or 5th density. You could get past that. That's like why Buddhists do what they do as far as like they're, like, for example, when that man set himself on fire in the 60s, was that the 1960s? He set himself on fire and just stood there. Because he's like, I'm not here. This is my physical body, but I am not my body. I am beyond this. And he was connected to his higher self. Like, when you're trying to get to your higher self, which is light. Yeah, it was a protest. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
like you want to get to your higher self, like your higher being, like to be your final form is like light, because energy doesn't die.
Have you seen the movie Lucy?
Yes.
So it's kind of that concept. She took, I think it was like one of the pills. I can't remember the exact plot of the movie.
It was like an injection.
Injection, yeah. And she like elevates to just pure matter. Mm-hmm. Like she just, her conscious, you know how we use like what 7 to 10% of our brain or whatever they say. She like gets to the point where she uses her entire brain and she
100%.
becomes matter, because that's what we are. We're actually just a spirit living a physical reality. We are the universe individualized, or God, as some like to say, individualized living an experience.
Yes. And
So
she's pretty much
gods.
like, yeah, like I'm everywhere. At the end of the movie, she's like, I'm everywhere. I'm not right here, but I'm still everywhere all at once. Think of that movie too. Everything, everywhere, all at once as well. Like, our consciousness, you know, like our consciousness can can go past all of this shit. Like, this is like considered like meat jackets. Like, this shit is kind of like low vibrational. This is like the prison planet. Yeah.
Meat suits.
Meat suits, literally. This is like the prison planet. Like, that's how I look at it. And
what movie is this?
It's called
everything.
Lucy. Is that the one you were talking about?
Lucy is one, but everything, everywhere,
Everything everywhere all at once.
all at once.
That one,
Ooh, that's
yeah,
a
okay.
tongue
That's a
twister.
bad
Everything,
motherfucker. Like, that's a bad
everywhere,
motherfucker.
all
I
at
understand why that won an Oscar.
When did that one come out?
not
It came out a couple years ago.
2023.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, so recent.
Yeah, and basically she was able to go through her different lives. Like, for example, like the universe. Basically, look at
Don't
it
give
as like
the whole
the
plot
multiverse.
away, because I'm gonna
Okay,
watch it.
I'm gonna just give you
Don't
a
give me
part
any
of it.
spoilers.
You're
Okay.
basically going through the multiverse, and you're able to tap into your different different versions of yourself through the multiverse. But you have this one
fuck
center
yeah.
of consciousness.
That's what this whole book talks about. The
Really?
book, The Power of Subconscious Mind. So that's what. So I was telling her earlier, like I used to do all the tarot stuff. I've spent probably $50,000 traveling the world, learning different healing modalities, doing the shadow work, doing the healing retreats, doing all of it, just to come back and realize at the end of the day it was all me.
Yeah, it's
I am
definitely
the consciousness. It's my belief systems. I can shift timelines based off my thoughts several times in a minute. And it's because you can manipulate your timeline based off your thoughts. If I think, hey, I'm going to make $100,000, I will have no option but to make $100,000 as long as I persist with that thought. and
because
that
it
belief.
starts with the mind first.
Everything
Yeah.
is the mind 1st. Everything is your beliefs. So like that is what has shifted me. So I was just telling Justice, I just manifested a job making $20,000 in 3 weeks, painting.
Yeah.
And all I said was, "Oh, I just, I want to make I said I want a $50,000 check. They call these BBLs, birds before landing. So have you seen?
She texted me that. She was like, "Girl, that was my BBL." I said, "What, Ashley?" She was
Like, what BBL, girl?
hold on.
This is news to me.
I got the next I was like, "A visual." She was like, a birth. What'd you call it? A bird before a blessing.
Bird before landing.
Bird before landing. Like,
Girl, that'll be BBB.
bird before landing.
Bird
No,
before
we said
blessing.
birds before blessings.
Yeah. I knew it was a tongue twister, but I was like, "Bitch, what the fuck is that?" She said, "It's my BBL."
Yeah.
But where did you get that from?
So there's Neville Goddard. He's one of the most profound spiritual teachers that I've ever found. Napoleon Hill, Joseph Murphy, all of these people, they talk about it. They transcended. They created their reality to a level most people never comprehend.
Yeah.
And they teach it. And there are people like, I follow Subconscious Laws and Manifesting with Kimberly. They legit changed my life. In 6 months, I went from living in a crappy apartment to living in a brand new townhouse. I went from working for a corporate job I despised to being my own boss and making enough to hold me and my family over and not live in a poverty state.
Yeah.
All
And
because of my thoughts.
and people got to understand too, it was still on you to make that happen.
Everything
It wasn't
experiences
nothing. You know how some people be like, I'm gonna just manifest it, and it's just like, well, what are you gonna do to manifest it? Like, what are you gonna?
A lot
That
of people
part.
think
what is the
that
action?
they can just think it, but a lot of people don't understand that with manifestation, you have to take action on your thoughts. You can't just think it and then it's just going to come to you. You have to take action.
So that's actually slightly true and slightly not.
Okay.
From my experience, anyways.
I was gonna say this
So-
is where her NLP hat.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that and also just everything I've studied and learned for myself. But if you believe something is going to happen, it has no option but to come into your reality. But we were talking about this. I was talking with him. It's inspired action. So say you're laying and you're not doing nothing. And you're like, dang, I want to go to the gym today. So you get up and you go to the gym, and then at the gym you meet the love of your life. That is an inspired action. That's something you do just randomly.
Man,
that
just kidding.
that unfolds into the reality you're manifesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm still at entry level when it comes to this type of stuff. So when you watch this back, don't be like, this bitch here. But yeah, just look at what I'm talking about and you'll get what I'm trying to say too.
Shay, you had it. Yeah, I was gonna say, girl,
I'm waiting for the woke shade.
Girl, listen, I ain't never been able to word this whole experience with Ashley into actual words and been able to describe it, because I think when me and Ashley get together, something is just very organic. It just feels very naturally flowing. Like what she said, inspired action. She'll come over for girl, I gotta need a creative night. And this would happen how many times?
So often.
Oh my God, after the last 4 years.
Even longer.
It would be 11 o'clock at night. Bitch, what you doing? She was like, nothing. I was like, you want to come over? I'm feeling kind of creative. Girl, we would sit up all night and just vibe out.
And just create websites, concepts for the brand you wanted at the time.
Yeah.
All of these things, we would just flow. It was like a flow state.
It really was.
It's
really
that's
was.
what it was,
It
a
was
flow
very...
state.
It was
Whenever I hear
damn.
flow, I think of progressive.
And I think we've even joked. People, I was like, damn, Ashley is literally my soul, my soul person, my soul tribe. She gets whatever that word is called. When you're I was like,
your soul tie.
Yeah,
Right?
I was
Your tribe.
we
Your tribe,
definitely vibe in a previous life. And that was one of my questions was, have you ever had an experience that, you've gone through that you were like, wow, I've been here before. Just I don't know, just
a
based
deja
on
vu
a very,
almost?
yeah, a very rooted feeling in a decision that you made.
100%. 100%. I've had that happen because, what Shay said, all time is happening. All time is happening simultaneously.
I was just about to. Yeah.
So all time is now. So I can go back to a memory that happened 7 years ago, but I can also go into the future and create a memory from 7 years in the future. But all that matters is right now in this precise moment.
Yep.
Because
Butterfly effect.
this is This is everything. So that's why we're always manifesting, thousands of thoughts a minute.
Yeah.
We have over 70,000 thoughts a day. Each one of those thoughts is a manifestation.
Oh yeah.
Man, the way I describe my thoughts, 1,000,001 tabs are open, and I don't know where the fuck the music is coming from.
Girl,
That
I
part.
think I seen somebody on a podcast before. He was like, I swear, if I could just explain my brain, it's when you have a tab pulled up over here, and I'm saying you get a tab pulled up over here, and you get a tab pulled up over here, and then you just got to click back damn, how the fuck did I get here from this starting tab?
Yep.
And that just
that's my
comes
mind
back.
all the time. It will start in the morning, and the evening will end completely different.
And that just means the subconscious is a bad motherfucker. It could really control some shit. Which brings me to this question. How does the subconscious mind shape our reality, and how can we reprogram it?
I think the biggest thing is just, first, you have to sit down and you actually have to listen to the thoughts you have. So you have to be an observer of your own thoughts. There's a book called The Untethered Soul, and
I've heard of that book.
I made Lee Sampson read it.
That's who I heard it from.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, I made him read it. But it basically talks about how we're an observer and then our thoughts are a roommate in our head. So if you sit there and you listen to your thoughts, you'll catch on to the thought patterns you have. I used to have a victim mentality. I used to think everything was happening to me. And then when I caught on to that victim mentality and that abandonment mentality I had, it shifted everything. I was like, oh, so now when I catch myself having a thought, I know this sounds absolutely crazy, but I literally visualize it because they call them thought vehicles. I visualize it as a little thought and I put it in the car and then I let the car drive off a cliff. I know this sounds
No, but that's great though.
And then what I do instead,
At least you know, bitch.
I just picture like a Monopoly player going in the car.
Girl, I sit here and visualize as a psychopath bitch just over here just going, that thought does not exist. Boom. Crash off the cliff.
I thought of Freddy
seriously, I'm
Krueger
like-
when they was on that bus.
Like, what? That's why she said, she goes, as crazy as this sounds, because I have to think about it. Like, damn, bitch, you really driving these thoughts off the cliff.
I am. And then I go over here and I'm like, no, this is the thought I want instead. And then I actually sit there and focus on what I want instead. And I do this all day long. And then at night, I listen to subconscious programming videos. So my mind is not idle ever.
Okay.
Ever.
And you want to know something? Earlier today, I had to shift like my thoughts and stuff. I had to also tell myself, no, this isn't something that I actually feel. And if it is something that I feel, let me go through that and get past it. Because I was having some thoughts like as being a mother and, you know, just being like, I you know, how those thoughts are. And I'm just like, well, Shay, this sounds like, I had to tell myself like, this sounds like postpartum. This doesn't necessarily reflect how you should be towards your child and reflects you as a person. Like, feel what you're feeling, understand what you're feeling and going through, and try to move past it. Not try to move past it, but do move past it. Because a lot of times I ain't gonna lie, and what brings my like inner thoughts out, like my subconscious mind out, was when I used to smoke weed. Oh my God. What shrooms do for other people is what weed does to me. Like, I really have to face myself and have to realize I'm living in a very low vibrational and negative state. So I've been trying to fight how to like get out of that. Because I do feel like for like years, weed used to make me happy as fuck. But then after a while, I don't know if the because it might also be like the THC levels and stuff too, that could trigger certain things. But I do feel like it's certain mind states that I be in to where it does get super negative. And yeah, like what shrooms does for other people is what weed did for me for a long time. Like, I really had to face myself and what I felt. Yeah. And it didn't feel good at all. I remember one time I was so high, I was hearing the colors. I swear to God.
They say the acid does that to you.
I've never messed with hallucinogens like that.
And I know it was straight weed because my mama.
Mushrooms or weed?
No,
it was weed.
Oh, wow.
That's why I feel like too, like my mind is very much sensitive. Like my spirit, I feel like it's very sensitive.
Yeah.
So if I do like get like dabble into shit, it won't be like nothing that's a psychedelic. It has to be straight up.
See, I don't mess with psychedelics, but weed like it shuts all of the other tabs off for a moment for me. So I can actually have these internal conversations with myself. Like, and that's where I do my best writing too, because throughout like my day, I get really stressed out trying to word things with what's going on because I have so much going up here all the time. So usually I'll stumble a lot and I'll mess up my words because I just don't know how to say things. And that's why I smoke, because it just kind of slows me down.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't feel so scatterbrained.
It like filters it out for you.
Yeah.
I feel
Or
like
I get
a
so
lot of
high
times
where I just don't
when
give
I'm
a fuck
high,
and I'm going to say it anyways.
that's why I'm like, somebody got to curate the perfect strain for like literally custom made for me, because I feel like I'm spiritually heightened and I found ways to like, how do I put it? To like mask it to where it doesn't bother me too much. Cause like when I'm super high, I could feel people's emotions. I could tell if somebody's like a negative person, like not a very empathetic. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm just like this, like,
That makes sense.
panting a lot, you know, like, because I'm just so nervous because I'm picking up on everybody's energy. And then I start thinking negative things like, you are an attention seeker. You weren't loved as a kid. Like, I don't know, like, it feels like projection, like, that I have towards, it feels like projection in a sense, because it's like, what made you come to this conclusion? But I could look at somebody and see what their issue is. I'm like, ooh, you're very narcissistic. Oh my God, you're a pushover. You need to love yourself more.
Girl, you
like,
just start saying this to people like, hey.
I don't say it to them, but I be thinking it. And that's why I don't like being around people when I'm high.
Shay, you just said something very profound. You said, I think it's a projection. Everything you experience is you outward reflecting back to you.
Oh, so my favorite thing, sorry, side note, my favorite thing to say is this is just my little slogan, something my dad taught me. Perception rules the world.
Yes.
Perception rules the world. And I say it over and over and over again. And that's why I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, because their perception of something is not going to be the same as mine, because I grew up differently than this person and that person. And so perception is what rules the world. So that's why I try to understand people. Let me understand your perception of things.
Well, it even goes deeper than that. You perceive them that way because they're reflecting you back to you, right? So you're getting a version of them that you created.
Ooh.
Take it up a notch.
God
Mic
damn.
drop.
Everything is perception, right?
Yeah, because I'll be
I made a
high
TikTok
as
about
hell.
this.
And I'll just be talking to somebody and they'll say something like real fucked up, and I'll just be like, well, goddamn, are you okay? Like, and then I'll be like, am I okay? Are we all okay? What's
Probably
going on?
Well, literally, my coaching clients, every coaching client I have attracted into my existence, all have similar traumas that I had as a child. So I can help them because they experienced the same trauma I did. So I naturally projected myself outward, and they reflected it back to me.
Yeah.
Half the time I'd be doing coaching sessions, I'd be like, dang, I wish someone was here to tell me this, because that's exactly what I went through.
I feel
like
that
that.
because, like, I think in my line of experience of, like, HR, like, when I'm interviewing people and, like, just, like, because HR is a very personable position. You, like, have to hear, like, people's walks of life, like, what they're looking for in their life whenever, especially deciding, like, whether to hire them or not. And it's like, very, like, damn, I wish I had somebody to point me on the right path at that stage.
Yeah.
It's like a very out of body, like, humbling experience. Like, you literally, like, I end up coaching myself through coaching you, like, continuously.
Oh, yeah.
It's constant growth.
Yeah.
I hear myself say something to them, I'm like, yeah, okay, Ashley.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you need to do that too then.
then.
Like, kind of thing.
Listen to your own advice.
Oh, I have that conversation with myself a lot, especially when I'm talking to like my girlfriends and I'll say something. I'm like, you dumb bitch. You didn't even listen to that advice yourself.
It's just saying that out loud. Thinking that process out loud was wow.
Yeah.
Like, you telling her to leave that nigga alone. Girl, have you left that nigga alone? Like, no.
I just
didn't.
change him in my head, and then he becomes the version I want him to be.
Do you believe in that?
Do you, I was about to say,
100%.
do you feel like that's kind of like manipulation too, though?
Not at all. People don't have free will in your reality.
That's a good word.
You don't think so?
Because
I
I
know-
could say,
I know they don't.
I think that's a controversy is like manipulation versus manifestation.
We are the gods.
Because what
we are
if
the
that's not
gods of our
truly
own
who they
reality.
are?
We are the gods of our own reality, right? It says it in the Bible. I don't know how religious everybody is, but it says we are God living itself, individualized. So therefore, we are gods. And we each have our own thought bubble, our own reality. In my reality, nobody has free will. I create them based off my thoughts. Hence, the perception thing we just talked about.
Yeah.
You're getting that version of them because of your thoughts. You're creating that version of them.
Yeah.
You can create whatever version.
Because
of
I ain't gonna
anybody.
lie, the version my baby daddy get is definitely a different version of what everybody else
Now
gets.
that I agree with, because I got that same problem. I'm
Yeah,
working
like,
on that one. That one's gonna take a
Because
little
I do
bit.
feel like, because Pisces, because the thing with Pisces too, we're
intuitive.
mirrors too.
You are mirrors, and you're the
Oh,
most
yeah.
intuitive sign, and you're the
Libras
most
are
sensitive
mirrors.
sign.
Very sensitive.
Libras are mirrors.
I love me a
But-
Pisces though.
Oh yeah, like
I love me if
because I honestly feel like too. You just said something so like that I agree with, because I honestly, because even when you think of what the word world means, it doesn't mean like Earth or planet. It means like your perception, your reality. People forget
Your
that.
perception
Like when they
rules the
think
world.
like for example, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. He ain't love Earth. He ain't give fuck. It ain't Earth that he talking about. It's like
He said, fuck
the
Earth.
conscious mind of those who follow him.
100%.
Like it's deeper than like this shit. Look, this shit gets deep.
Okay,
This shit gets
so,
It's
deep.
not on me, it's in me, baby.
so in your professional in your professional opinion, what are the biggest mind shifts that can transform someone's life?
I would say the biggest thing is, like I mentioned earlier, acknowledging your thought patterns and then contradicting them, right? So like I said, when I have a negative thought, you have to be so aware of your thoughts all day long, but it's worth it. It's a lot of work and it's exhausting, but it is worth it because of the shift you experience. So like I said, the consciousness, the awareness, but on top of that, you can actually, I've learned little techniques, right? So like smells dictate memories.
Yes.
So if every time you're
That's
in
for
a really,
real.
really good mood and a good state of being, you can smell an essential oil that's orange. Then when you're having a bad moment where you're ready to kill your baby daddy, you can be like, let me get my orange essential oil. And you can pull it out, sniff it, and be like, ooh. And it's going to change your state based off the smell. You smell something and be like, go back to like that moment you laying in bed with your man, and you be like, ooh, this smells like him. And then you relive the memory, right?
Can you imagine literally being hot in the moment? Like, baby,
I know,
like,
I'm trying to picture Shay real mad and then just taking her essential
niggas
oil.
gone
Like,
again.
motherfucker,
Like,
hold
you
that
in the
thought.
moment. You like ready to like let down.
I only say that because I do
You
that.
just imagine like pulling out some orange
No,
essential
that's
oil.
where you
going,
go. Time
Nigga,
out.
you lucky I got this orange essential
I'll
oil.
be done
'cause I'll
fucked
be
you up.
fucking killing your ass.
Yeah.
Like what?
I got my oils today.
For real. Lucky I got my oils because I'm about to fuck you up. For real. And
He's gonna be
The
standing
level
there
of
like, this bitch is crazy.
Girl, listen. But do you feel like all of that goes out the window when you find the certain things that work for you? Or like, do you like ever just feel like I can't like authentically do this in the moment?
Sometimes
That's a good
you have
question.
to allow yourself to feel what you feel. When we fight who we or how we're feeling, it's okay to have a thought as long as you're not acting on it, right? So if I'm having a negative thought, I'm like, oh, nope, that's when I put it in my vehicle and I let it go, right? But if I'm sitting there and I'm harnessing on it, I'm like, I'm really mad.
Yeah.
That's also okay as long as you don't stay there. As long as you shift your state
like
back
that.
to a state of where you choose to be instead. They call it states of consciousness. Yeah.
oh yeah.
I'm gonna have
I
to
like that.
do the essential oil trick when I'm real mad, road rage.
You could do that,
Oh,
or
yeah.
you could do EFT tapping. I love EFT tapping.
Like literally
that?
just like, this is another one.
No,
Oh,
seriously.
This nigga got me fucked up.
Nope, you be like, I am
Think
calm.
Think
I
of
am
Bad
calm.
Boy when he was like,
respects me.
woosah. That's what that
I
is.
do in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Yep.
And if I start laughing, I'm about to fucking kill you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so that does
whatever
bring
you
me to
find
this
that
next
works, it
question.
works.
Like, how can people become more in tune with their intuition and like inner guidance?
I think sitting in silence is a huge thing. I know that that's everywhere, but it's the truth. Until you sit with yourself, like you were saying, you smoke weed to experience your thoughts. But I will say this, I've never experienced my emotions on a more raw and unfiltered level than I did when I stopped smoking, drinking, eating processed foods, and actually just experienced and felt stuff for the first time. Because you don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have the vices.
Yeah.
We all use those vices as a way to like
It's a
ease
crutch.
it. It's a crutch.
See, but
do
here, this
believe
is where
in
my
that.
argument is. 'Cause I don't so
She's like, hold on, I'm not giving my weed up.
Yeah, hold up. Okay, it is a vice, yes. But however, I do my best writing, which is kind of like my therapy when I'm high.
Right.
And that allows me to process a lot of the emotions that I have through certain shit that I've been with that when I'm sober, you're not going to catch me processing those.
Now that is actually profound too, because again, everything is a belief. You create your belief systems. If for you use it as a tool versus a crutch, that's your belief.
Well, then I learned
have
to
you
do that.
tried it without smoking?
You give power
Yeah.
to what you believe in.
You
like,
give
I'ma do
anything-
I've tried
this,
sitting
yes.
there. I've tried sitting
I'm
there and
not
writing
doing
sober,
shit on
and it
this
just doesn't
weed. Like I
happen.
could do better. Like that's your.
That could be a
timeline.
practice you could try.
Anything
Like,
you put
Whereas,
intention
like,
in
yeah.
has power. It's all about the intention you put behind anything.
Yeah.
I said for me specifically,
Okay.
when I stopped doing all those things, right?
Yeah.
But for you, it may be like as soon as you roll it with intention. As soon as I'm gonna write the best fucking book I've ever written in my life. I'm gonna tap into a level. I'm gonna tap into a level of creativity I didn't know
Rolling this
existed.
motherfucker up on this full moon
Literally,
tonight.
yes.
For real.
The intention to set some shit on fire.
And then with every
Like
puff,
what?
Yep.
there's a book idea.
There's a book idea.
I'm gonna make
There's
millions.
a chapter.
Girl, listen.
You have to embody the state of what you want, right? So like, I want to be a millionaire. I am a millionaire. Y'all can't tell me different.
Right.
Please try.
And
I
time
love
is
that.
not linear. It's in a circle, so it's
Time
like
is
it's
not
already
linear.
happening.
Yep.
You just ain't experienced
You
it
just
yet.
Neville Goddard says live in the end. So whatever you want to experience, feel it before it shows up in the 3D world.
Yeah. And that's kind of like preparation too for when it does happen. You'll be prepared for it already.
Exactly. I always ask for the
learning
ability
a
to
lot.
maintain what I'm manifesting. Because I've gotten things and lost it because I wasn't ready for it. I've gotten that several times,
Ooh,
as a matter
I
of
felt
fact.
that. Yeah.
So now I don't just ask for what I want. I embody the version of me that knows how to keep and maintain and elevate what it is I'm getting.
It's kind of like how they say, like, when you picture your highest self, like, Justice, picture you at your heightened. You got the career you want, you got the money you want, you got the house you want. Now, what does that girl do every day?
Exactly.
What does that woman dress like?
Yeah.
And
How
then,
does she feel?
That's why I like the quote unquote fake it till you make it, fake it until you become it.
Yeah. Or no, just act as if act as if.
Listen, Rihanna quoting her on
That's right.
It was an award show that I seen, and she was like, they were like, "What do you do on your incredibly sad days?"
Yeah, you just fake
and
it.
And she's like, I just fake it, girl. I fake it till I make it. And I was like, damn. And I understand that. Like, I definitely just like walk through and just be like, I'm good. We're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We finally are good.
Shout out Riri. The queen herself.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of her. Okay, so I'm going to spin it around to some hot seat questions really quick.
Okay.
Here we go.
So you're talking about, manifestation and all this stuff. Have you ever plotted on a man and felt like you manifested the outcome in your favor?
Absolutely.
Can you give us an example?
I mean, I don't like to look at it as plotting. I look at it as creating my reality, right? So everybody reflects me back to me. So I just decide to be nice to myself, and then he has no option but to show up that way, right? So I realized recently I had an abandonment wound, right? I knew for years, but I didn't realize that I was projecting it consciously, right? Okay. So I would...
Good on you for figuring that out, though.
100%, because it needed to happen. But so I found somebody that I enjoy his company, and he reflected back to me that I was not chosen. And I said, okay, bet. So now I know I'm chosen, and now he knows I'm chosen too.
Yeah.
That's how that worked. So I guess you can consider it manipulation or manifestation or plotting, whatever you want to refer to it as. But for me, he just doesn't have free will. So if I know I'm chosen in my reality, he has no option but
you to do.
This is such a prime example. I will think thoughts about what I want him to say to me, and then I'll be in his presence, and he'll say the exact words I said in my head.
Girl.
Teach me your ways.
I'm
and
that's not an exaggeration.
Reminds me too.
I write it down. I have a notes folder of all the stuff I manifested in my head, and I write it down and I look at it when I'm having because I'm still human. I have my moments, and I look at him like, oh, you sure did that. Oh, you did that too.
You did do
that.
that.
Oh, you do control your reality.
Yeah.
And then I get myself back in the state.
That's a really good practice, though. I wish I would have did that.
Yeah.
I wish I would have did that because, like, I think we've had conversations before, like, you'll go through many dark nights of the soul. If anybody knows what that is, it's like there's like certain stages of the life awakening experience to like tap into your higher self. But anyways, dark night of the soul. Like I remember going through my first one. I was with Ashley side by side. I think we sometimes we've like even like both like been going through it at the same time. Like we've literally like coached each other out of it. Like it's been crazy, like wild. But anyways, I was like, I've awakened from that dark night of the soul, bitch. Girl, fast forward 2 years later, I'm sitting this motherfucker with my hole in my chest, like another dark night of the soul. And I was taken aback. I was like, damn, I thought I already worked through this. But like you said, like it comes back.
You go to a deeper level of it.
Yeah.
It's like an onion, you think you hit it, but you're one layer in versus 7.
Shrek?
Yeah.
Why Shrek?
Remember he was like, onion has layers. Remember when he was talking about onions and layers? Yeah. He's like, ogres have layers. He was like, but don't nobody like onions. Nobody like ogres either. Yeah.
Weak.
Sorry, y'all. I just reference things. So when I hear onions, I think of Shrek and I think of Donkey. Sorry.
No, I feel that. And I ain't gonna lie, like that kind of reminds me of like how you treat yourself is how other people would treat you too.
100%.
Like if you,
that goes along with boundaries.
A man can sniff if you're insecure about yourself, and they'll treat you any type of way because they know, you're gonna stay with me regardless. You're gonna let me do what I want to do because guess what? You don't have any other options. I'm your only option.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of men like prey on I ain't gonna say a lot of men. That's why a specific type of man will prey on specific type of women because they can tell those insecurities.
That prey on those kind of women are insecure themselves.
Absolutely.
100%. But you also, those men are manifested into those women's realities because of their thoughts. You know what I mean? So, prime example, again with the plotting thing, right? So the person I like at this point in my life, he told me, like I said, he told me, oh, I think we're on different levels. I said, okay. Guess who was texting me earlier before we started this podcast? Mm-hmm. Him.
Yeah.
Because all I did was decide. So many people have a subconscious belief that they're not enough and that they're not a priority and that they're not chosen. And it all happened within the first 7 years of their life. We're in a theta state for the first 7 years. So we're basically being hypnotized into who we are becoming in our thoughts and our beliefs. Mm-hmm. So that's where it becomes our responsibility to change it, right? Yeah. So now, knowing that was a belief that I had that was projecting outward, I changed it, and now everyone else is changing how they treat me.
Yeah.
Man, I will say, as soon as you said that, the mom in me was just starting to think about Carter, because she's in that 7th year of life. And so I'm like thinking about everything that she's gone through and everything that we've gone through together. And I'm wondering, all of that's just...
What is that going to morph into?
Yeah, like like that mom thing that you just think about, that mom guilt almost.
Yeah.
Like, what have I done that could have,
But you can always change it, because
switch
now
things.
you're
Oh,
conscious,
100%.
right?
100%. Yeah.
I have a 17-year-old and an 11-year-old, and I have
You go,
literally
girl.
changed the versions that they have become based off how I believed that they showed up. Mm-hmm. My oldest daughter, she's 17. She was a little bit of a victim. But that's my fault. I created that. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I started showing her that she was chosen.
Yep.
And so how she showed up changed.
Yep.
My 11-year-old, she's just balls to the wall. There's no change. I just love her authentic. Like,
she is
runs
truly
her own
authentically
world.
herself.
There's
Kinston is. She's like, I'm here.
She knows she's the god of her reality.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no questioning that.
Yeah, Kinston's in character, but I still get taken aback when you say 17.
I know.
Like, I'm still stuck on the 17.
I'm too adorable to have a 17-year-old.
17 is crazy.
Yeah, you're saying, okay, so 17-year-old, I still don't believe your age. Tell us about, like, your journey. How long have you been doing this energy and Reiki and NLP? Walk us through that. How long have you been doing it? What started the journey?
Yeah, a breakup. Man. A breakup. Yeah. Yeah, I dated two best friends, and that was a game changer for me. It was a game changer. I know it sounds terrible. I know.
Wait, they was best friends?
Yeah, but they both dated me, so it's not just on me. Yeah. I will take.
It's
obviously, it is because I create my reality. Let me stop and own my.
You were like, I want this one, but no, I want this.
So I dated two best friends, but I was
found the
separately
friend,
or at the same time.
The leader of the friend group. That's what it was.
I dated
she found
one,
the leader of the friend group,
and then the other right shortly after.
Did the best friend slide into your DMs?
Actually, no. I met him when I was out. Well, I met them together. Okay. And then tried to date one, it didn't work out. So then the other one hit me up, and we ran into each other like your mom's birthday party when we went on the party bus.
Oh my God!
I ran into him, and he starts hitting me up. I'm like, well, I never really did anything with this guy, and then we ended up.
That bad?
I ended up going to California and meeting the first one, and he was like, I've just loved you since day one. I'm like, what? So
oh my gosh, I'm putting two and two together. That's was a lot. I feel like that was not too long ago, but it was a long time ago.
But either way, let me not get stuck on that story. So either way, I got my heart broken, and I had to sit back and I had to look at myself, and I'm like, okay, the common denominator here is me. The reason none of my relationships work are me. I'm the only one to blame if I'm the only common denominator. So that's what like prompted my spiritual awakening.
Okay.
And then when I tell you, I dove so deep. I went into conspiracy theories. I went into the cabal. I went into anything that could resonate or like correlate to spirituality. Mm-hmm. I learned it. And I studied it.
I will say, I have personally experienced each stage of this spiritual
journey?
Yeah, spiritual journey, like 100%. Like I've experienced every single, point of this. Like I can name it. Like it's crazy.
That's awesome.
And, especially when you were going through the phase of like the conspiracy theorists and, like at the holiday parties.
Nobody wanted to talk to me.
No one wanted to talk to me.
My mom stopped talking to me for a year. She said, get your 10-headed ass out.
Listen, it was like crazy, Ashley.
Do you feel, I got a question. How do you feel about, like, for example, people might say, Like, bitch, you ain't spiritual. You going through psychosis. Like, how do you feel like
I've been there.
Go through to see if it's something spiritual or psychosis? Because I feel like a lot of shit happens to me that's spiritual, and I don't think it's psychosis.
Listen,
like, I don't think
that's
it's
what
psychosis.
I'm speaking on.
Like, how can you tell?
Anything I've ever experienced that has taught me truth was spirituality. It was never psychosis. They did a whole study on spirituality versus psychosis. And a lot of people who are schizophrenic or have mental breaks, they're going through a spiritual awakening and they can't handle it. Their brains can't process that they've been lied to their entire life. Yeah. They literally cannot handle that reality.
You can definitely go down the rabbit hole.
I did, and I was depressed, and I didn't leave my house, and I didn't let my kids, like, go anywhere.
You go over...
For, like, the sex trafficking, the eating children, the
organ
trafficking. Like you go down, like, the conspiracy rabbit hole.
It's easy to get stuck in that, but the truth is, like, because of my spirituality, I was able to come out of it, and knowing that our goal is never to feed into that reality, but to be the light to help lead people out of it.
Yeah, like, you can't be a victim of that.
You can't. That's like, again, once I change my victim mentality, my reality
like, this
changed.
is going to happen to us. We're all going to die.
100%.
Like, that's where that.
I really genuinely feel for people in that victim mentality, because when you think that the world is against you, the world will be against you.
I will say, place to like I said, I've went through every single phase with that with Ashley.
She has. I was talking to her earlier about how, like, there was a point where we went downtown and took a photo shoot, and I was going through it in that state, and, like, she was trying to lead me to take pictures, and I was so insecure at that particular
Justice
moment.
wanted to take pictures? What?
I was like,
it's confidently justice for a reason.
Listen, I think back on that when I look at my Instagram name, because I'd be like, damn, I was really out here just, like,
I will
doing
say
shit.
Though,
like,
you make me take pictures a lot when I don't want to, but it makes me feel better afterwards. Yeah.
No, I do believe, like, every woman should have a confident power walk moment in their life.
Yeah.
And where you just walk in with your shoulders back, your head up, and you walk in that room knowing you about to own that motherfucker. Woo!
And you go through different phases of it too.
You do.
It's different phases. Because I felt like the first time that I went through that, and it was when, like, it was a great, because I ain't gonna lie, a lot of times I grew up insecure about, like, my skin tone and just being black in general, because people made me feel some type of way about being black and dark skinned and stuff. And that's something I'm working through now. Even as we're talking about it, I'm working through that. And I remember the first time I really started embracing who I was. Oh, it's so freeing. Your head is held high. Like, you just feel so free and so good.
Yeah.
And then, like, some shit happened to where, like, you kind of, like, going through your life and it gets real and you try to find that light again, but you got to use what you have now. You can't think about what happened in the past. I feel like that's a big thing, too. Like, we focus so much on the past.
Yeah.
No,
like, we got to find it again.
We've talked about, you know, the insecurities that you have had. And, you know, I have seen you start to come out a little bit, even with just, like, the year and a half of working together. I've seen you come out of this state a little bit as you've seen her.
That's what I was about to say. Like, that's cute. Because you've seen her on a more personable level, and I've seen her on a more personal. But we can both contest to, like, I've seen each stage of this, like, in real time.
I read the book Soul We to my daughter. Have you ever heard of it?
What is it called?
Soul We. It's a children's book.
Oh my God, I thought you said
But
so
it's
weed. And I was like, wait a minute.
Soul
We?
It's
Chapter 3, dank.
It's the author. The author is she's from Black Panther. She's the love interest. I can't remember her name. It's on the top of my head.
Lupita
Nyong'o? She wrote the book. And it's about how her sister is lighter than she is. And so she goes through this whole journey of accepting herself and her dark skin. My daughter, I have a biracial daughter, and I have all biracial brothers and sisters. So, and my stepdad is black. He's who raised me. I wasn't raised by my dad. So, you know, those things are huge into teaching someone to accept themselves. I've been teaching my kids that since the day they were born. Because of how hard it was for me, right?
That's what I was about to say. I commend you highly of, because I actually used to be a woe is me person.
Really? I've been through that. I know exactly how that is.
Be a woe is
and you don't
me.
see it
like,
as your
all her
woe is
siblings
me.
were biracial. Ashley would be like, and I'm different. Like, she would just, like, hold into that. Like,
they made me feel different. I know that sounds crazy to say, right? Me being
But
a white
in her
woman.
experience-
But my siblings were all black, so I got treated different. My mom loved their dad. She didn't love my dad. I was a I was
Projection,
a one
too.
night stand, right?
That
I
was
came
her
from a one night
mentality,
stand when
though.
she was 16. So my mentality was, I'm different. I'm not
And
chosen.
she carried it though, like
I
you
did
knew it,
carry
like you
it.
felt that energy
And
coming
that-
in when she walked in, and that's what I say. Like I've watched her evolutionize herself, like what she's saying and what she's speaking, like it's real life, real talk.
man.
Like I've seen her evolution.
Have you ever seen it this way?
Like seriously, like she like
Hell
her
no.
mom was like arch enemy number one. Like honestly,
But-
like it gives me hope a little bit about my situation. Like
Oh,
arch
yeah.
enemy number
My mom,
one.
yeah, no.
And that I feel like that's another part of spirituality. We don't talk about the wounds from our parents
Yeah.
or like the projections from our parents and stuff from our parents. Like for example,
My
you
parents
said your
traumatized
mama
my
treated
ass.
you different because she didn't love your daddy. She loved their daddy and things like that. And so she treated you guys differently. And then that goes into questioning of when you go from seeing your parent as a hero to like your villain, like hero to like enemy.
You know?
And then it's like too you start to
That
look
hit
at
me in
different
my
things
soul.
like,
That hit me
well,
in my soul.
mom, do you not also love yourself because you're white? Two, are you falling into fetishization of mixed people, of what you feel like is more attractive, what you feel like you're attracted to?
I don't
that
think
goes
it was that
into-
for my mom. I think she just found a man she loved and they conceived children. And naturally,
Oh,
when
yeah.
someone is conceived out of love, it's different.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
But it will have you raise those questions too, though.
I mean, yeah, 100%. But that was actually a belief that really came to my awareness as of late, too. My mom called me earlier and was like, y'all better not be talking about me on that podcast.
Don't break
Shout out
rule
to
number
T-Dog.
one.
Look, hold on. The best thing is that I went to a healing retreat. Ironically enough, I told you I spent lots of money on those. But I went to one and I decided in that moment, now looking at this version of me, I know that I decided that I changed my belief in that moment. But I looked at my mom as a small child and I forgave her. And ever since, I do not get that version of my mom anymore. My mother and I have a great relationship. Do we still have our moments? Yes, because my mom she's a gangster. Okay. She does not play.
yeah.
But my mother also respects me as the woman that I am. And my mother shows up for me and she supports me. And because I changed my belief around my mom, she has no option but to show up that way, right?
Yeah, and
Same thing.
you standing in your power to where it ain't no other choice but to respect what the fuck I got going on.
I am more authentically who I am now than I have ever been in my life. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when she saw me and she was trying to coach me on how to walk, I was just like, now you guys can barely get me to shut up.
I was like, bitch, loosen up your shoulders, put them back a little bit.
Literally.
Like,
Like, I just
It wasn't-
know
but-
who I am and
yeah.
what I possess and what the fuck I got going on and that I control it all.
yeah.
That is powerful.
You can see her walk that way too. Versus
know-
that old
yeah.
video.
I used
Yeah.
to hate my body. And then I would look back. So this is a
I'm like,
great
bitch, you
lesson.
that cutie with a booty. Stop playing, girl.
This is a great
like,
lesson for
actually, like,
everybody.
I'd be like, why are you so insecure?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's a good lesson for everybody because I feel like women in general particularly like struggle with this. But I would be in a space where I'm like, oh, I look terrible. And then I look back at a picture of me and be like, damn, I looked really good then. But then I remember how I felt in that moment. I'm like, I thought the same thing. And then I would go back and I'd be like, I was so thin there. And I'm like, but honestly, I hated how I looked then too. Now I'm
Yes.
just like, look, this is me. You like it or you don't. I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
And guess what? I get more attention.
Yeah.
I get more attention
Preach.
from men as thick as I am like this than I ever did when I was a size 4. I like, and it's not about their validation. It's about how I feel.
I'm glad
about
you
me.
said that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said
That was required.
It's how you present yourself.
It's how I feel about
Yeah.
myself.
It's how you started
that's
walking.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like it really is. I love that we went through that phase together.
I know
'cause
that was a really.
that
good
was a big
phase.
one.
Girl. Me and Ashley would just be doing shit, y'all. Like
all the shit.
we literally went down
Unnecessary
to the T-Mobile Center and
Unnecessary.
did a confidence walk. Video
Hey,
photo
I
shoot.
love that.
Confidence walk.
I
I
was
did
like,
the
what was it?
insecure
I
walk.
was like dressed up because I was like, bitch, let's go take pictures and videos. And she was like, okay, whatever, I'm not in the mood. And it turned out to be like one of those moments where you're just like, damn, I really needed that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What has been the wildest thing you've done in the name of your spiritual exploration?
Ooh, that's tough. I've done all kinds of random drugs. I
Wait a minute,
kayaked
wait.
down
You tried ayahuasca?
You did. How did you like
You
that's
knew
just
the
the
name
tip
of
of
these
the
drugs when you
iceberg
took
there.
Look, I've been in dimensions, okay?
Listen, what?
Me and you were here.
I've done peyote,
Wait, what the
acid,
fuck
mushrooms.
is peyote?
Peyote? It's
What
like
the
a
fuck
tea.
is
It's like a
that?
tea.
Yeah.
A what?
A tea. Anything I did was a consciousness expanding drug.
Yeah, it wasn't recreational.
Hallucinogenic.
No,
Isn't that
no,
the word?
yeah.
Hallucinogenic?
Yeah.
But I ain't never heard no coyote. That sounds like the
No,
same.
it ain't
coyote.
Coyote's like
Peyote.
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 It's just a
I was like, bitch, what kind of hardcore
But-
shit you talk about some coyote tea? What the fuck?
How was it when you tried what is it called? Ayahuasca?
So I did Tezpez Kiwe, which is the most pure form of ayahuasca. I did that
You are
because
so informed. Can you run that name back one more time?
Tezpez Kiwe. So you hit it from like a little
Tezpez
one hitter you would
Kiwe.
almost smoke weed out of, right? And it hits you instantly. Versus ayahuasca, you drink the
We
tea.
do not
gotta
promote
wait.
You
drugs
wait an hour.
on this podcast.
What?
I said we
She
do
does not promote
we do
drugs.
not promote
Right.
drugs on this podcast.
Unless
Just
it's
saying.
weed and you're in Missouri where it's legal.
Right.
But
Drug responsibly.
So yeah, I mean, I did the Tezpez Kiwe, which it's like a little one hitter. You hit it and you just fly into another dimension instantly. She was like, "It's a grounding drug, so if you get too high, just lean into the floor." And I was like, "Oh, cool." So I leaned into the floor and I melted through it,
What?
like genuinely melted
Yes.
through the floor.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, this is cool dimension here."
Am I
was
in hell?
freaked.
just
Yeah.
lean
I was
into it
freaked
is
out.
wild.
I had a lot of fear on my trips, though. I won't lie. It's very different when you leave control. When I had no control of what was going on,
That's my issue.
and it terrified me, and I carried a lot of fear while doing it. But
And
afterwards,
they say that's the worst thing to do.
And that's why I never
afterwards-
touched it.
afterwards, I was depressed for like 3 to 4 months.
What?
I was genuinely depressed. But then I came out of it. It was like I don't know how to explain it. It was like I went into a state of just rebirth. Right. So like I was buried and then my flower grew. So I went from like, I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking. That's when I went through that period of time. And then I just became so aware of everything. And then that's when my whole life started like shifting.
Yeah.
So I say if you do it with intention. Like I said, everything you put intention on
And
has
try to
power.
clear
What's
your
it
mind
called?
as much as possible.
Don't drink,
Tezpez.
don't smoke.
I lost the other word.
Like, be as clean, get your body as clean as you possibly can before you do something like that.
And where can you get this at?
You gotta leave the country for that.
I actually did it in Colorado.
Should we
Really?
announce that on screen?
I am not against
Now taking sponsorship. Please go see your nearest. Go see your nearest, says XYZ, for your Ishkwanda.
Wow, way off.
Whoa.
Tezpez Kiwe.
Wait, what did you call it?
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. You can get ayahuasca in Costa Rica, Peru.
But is that not the
That's
same
what
thing
I
as what
hear
y'all?
about.
I went to
all the
Peru
time.
last year and I almost did it, but I didn't.
Y'all sound so experienced because
I thought about it
never
until
did it. That's the crazy part.
Hiking Machu Picchu was in itself a profound, like that was profound. I thought I was gonna die. I said, "Ooh, I'm not making it off this mountain." I said, "If I sit down, this donkey will come and it will take me down. Like I will be okay. I will be okay." But no, I made it. I toughed it through. I've never in my life struggled more.
listen.
But when I got to the top, when I got to the top,
I remember when I was
But that's what
snowboarding.
matters is that you got to the top.
Listen,
and I did it. I hiked it.
Listen, I went snowboarding in Colorado, and I got all the way up to the top of that mountain, like where it was said like elevation warning. You know you up high, and I was on a snowboard. Yo, I caught myself going down that snowboard, and I took my first tumble. It felt like a box of rocks hitting on that goddamn ice. I didn't make it down like 6 tumbles before I hit that help line. Like,
Oh my
come
God.
help me off this mountain. I can't get up.
Where were you guys at when my sister went with you and you guys tried to get off the ski lift and my sister literally just
my
fell
gosh.
instantly.
See,
she
that'd
didn't even
be
make
me.
it off. Her butt she
That'd
fell
be me.
off
I
and
got
she
it
just
on
fell.
video.
That'd be
yes.
me.
I have it
She
on video.
face planted instantly. That was so funny.
It was
y'all.
Minnesota.
Y'all will
Minnesota.
not catch me
Minnesota.
on a snowboard or some skis because the center of gravity does not gravity with me.
Listen,
all right?
but I will say with that experience with snowboarding, I was like, Okay, like I related it back to life. Like I got all the way up to the top. I know how it feels to just feel so glorious at the top, but it hurts coming down.
Oh,
And sometimes it hurts going up. It's the journey, right? It's the
It
journey.
is.
We were talking about
but
the
did you make it
alchemist.
out that motherfucker?
It is because
Right.
even though I fell down, I found the silver lining in the situation, and I got to enjoy a great snow sled ride. But a husky pulled me, girl. I was like, what kind of storybook shit am I in right now? I'll enjoy it. Like I was like, silver lining. That shit hurt like a motherfucker,
Snow
but
dogs with Cuba Gooding
you
Jr.
know, that's what I felt like. That's what I
Look,
felt
that
like,
was a
girl.
great story for your podcast.
It was. I was like, you know what? I would have never got here if I didn't take that hike.
Look, that's great.
Listen.
I can't lie. I'm not a snow hiker.
Yeah, I'm just not really a snow person.
Yeah.
My
You can catch me on. I want to be on somebody's beach.
my sister Sam
Catch me
will
in the
taught
sun.
this. I do not like the snow. My sister Sam, snow fiend.
Yeah.
Loves everything about the snow. She had her wedding in December.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I
I
can't
like
do
the snow for about 2 hours, and then I'm ready to go back inside and be warm.
Oof, I cry when the snow come.
We went to Oregon this past in December, and we went tubing, cosmic
Yeah.
tubing. We went to cosmic tubing, my kids and I, and so we were outside in the snow for a few hours, but it wasn't cold, so that was the only reason we were able to do it. But
Maybe
we're
that's
very
why I don't
outdoorsy.
like it.
We're very
sure.
we just like all the things.
I just don't like it when it's too cold.
That part.
So I gotta ask. I know we haven't really been on the topic of astrology, but we talked about it a little bit before we started rolling. What is the best zodiac in bed?
And do you think that the compatibility between signs intensify the situation or not?
I would say, based off everybody's general idea of astrology, they say it's Scorpio. I would say
I'm weak. That's the answer I had in my head when I wrote the question.
Scorpio.
they say it's Scorpio. Me personally, I'm a sapiosexual, so I cannot.
I love that
I'm a
word.
sapiosexual
I'm a
too,
sapiosexual.
but man, damn them
They do the damn
Scorpios.
I've been with Scorpio. I dated a Scorpio for years. I was engaged to him. Shoot. But I can honestly say that it has everything to do with mindset for me. It's not even about zodiac signs, but I think Pisces are real nice too.
I'm weak.
From my current experience,
Okay.
I would say Pisces is.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. If it's a water sign, it's going down.
Well, I'm fire.
You
So
fire?
you mix
Yeah.
water and
Damn,
fire.
fucking
You got a
water.
whole.
You a
little-
Sag?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Pisces.
Yep.
That's
I'm
crazy.
My son's dad, I ain't gonna lie, the most passionate, just oh my god, like
I wonder what
was
your
with my
guys'
baby
risings
daddy.
are.
He a Cancer, and so it gets real. It used to get real. I could beat that nigga the fuck up now, but when it's good, it's good.
I would say Leo too. There was a lot of
Leo.
sexual chemistry there with Leo.
Cause that fire, that passion.
It's
Yes.
like intensity. It's just
But I will say, when
very
you got
intense.
fire on fire,
That's different. Yeah, I can
woo,
imagine.
It could burn
could
in
burn out.
flames.
I'm just a
or it
water
could burn
and
each other
or a
out.
fire because I'm an air sign, so I like the water and the fire.
Yeah,
But the damn Scorpios get me every time.
I will say I
They're
have heard
great.
Scorpios is like every time that question is asked, it's Scorpio. So that's pretty much.
They're
the
great.
ding, ding,
I
ding,
just
ding.
think it's water signs in general. Water signs are just.
right.
Did Esai
Love
just
us.
clap? Wait, did y'all just hear? Did you just clap?
Esai was like, well,
brother.
He was like, what? I was like, yep, sure am.
Oh,
He's
fuck
like,
your
yeah,
brother.
it's me.
I'm
yeah,
him.
Scorpio.
Do you believe in the stereotype that spiritual girlies are a red flag or toxic or like, because like that people like, oh, she start asking you what your birth sign is, stay away from her.
I think spiritual women try to understand things on a level most people don't try to.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think spiritual
love
women
that.
they hold men accountable.
They
or
do.
women. Because men are
Nobody
spiritual
gets
too.
more. I ain't gonna lie. Nobody gets
Okay,
more
let me.
men.
I'm
than
gonna
spiritual
argue
women.
a little bit though, because there's a spiritual, and then you kind of go into like the witchcraft a little bit.
I was gonna say, that was another
spirituality I mean,
But when we're
Spirituality
talking
and
about-
witchcraft, if you're looking at the
If
right,
you're
they're hand in
they're
hand.
like this. I was about to say.
This is a sigil on my hand. Okay, sigils are used by witches.
I
I am a
mean,
witch.
Yeah, like
just feel like
you
there's
can't
a
look at it
line.
like one or the. This is basically the conversation we had last week with spirituality and religion. You can't look at it as one or the other. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's like, for example, a lot of people that consider people to be witches or witchcraft is just another spiritual practice. People might look at, let's say, hoodoo, hell. In Christianity, you drink the blood and eat the body.
Hello, and the
Okay,
12
so I should-
disciples are the 12 zodiac signs.
I should say this.
They use astrology.
Like it's
Thank you
feel-
for bringing that relation up because
yes.
people have literally looked at it as
And think about it. You know how
something so demonic.
You
and
know how the
different.
three
So
wise men found Jesus? They was looking at astrology. They was
To
looking
get
at the
there.
stars.
That's
The
what I
stars
said.
aligned
I
and
said
beamed the
that.
light onto Jesus.
I will say this:
Literally.
my favorite phrase. Sorry, excuse my French, but my favorite phrase is "It was written in the stars the moment you were born." Like
Yeah.
it really was, like cosmically, like what all was going on in the sky that moment you took your first breath. It
Some shit was
matters.
going on.
well, do you
Yeah,
know
it
what
does.
witchcraft is? Witchcraft is intention and ritual.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
do intention and ritual every day. When we had COVID hit, we had to stand 6 feet apart. You didn't think that was a ritual? We had to wear
Yeah.
a mask. You didn't think that was a ritual?
Yeah,
You know what? You really
and it's
is
not
like
tied
lighting a
to nothing.
fire. And, sorry, excuse me. You are lighting a fire. Sorry, damn that wine. But listen, you was lighting a fire up in these Shay's ass right now. Like I want you to know, like Shay's seat is boiling because
It ain't
she
boiling.
literally- But listen, because you were literally just preaching about this last week on the
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
Same.
like
How
I'm loving
religion
this.
is separate from like what you're like.
It's not separate though. That's what I was saying. Like it's not two different things. People try to make it seem like it's two different. Like for example, what makes you a spiritual? People will say all day, "Oh, I'm spiritual." What makes you spiritual? What do you do? Like religion isn't just something. It's not like the three big denominations. It's not Islam, Judaism, and Christianity or Buddhism. It's not just that. Religion could be like you get up every Sunday and you wear your Chiefs gear and you sit on the edge of your couch to try to make sure the Chiefs win. You're
That's
doing
a
that
ritual.
religiously.
It's a ritual.
It's a ritual. You're doing
That's
it
what
religiously.
I mean by different, like
And
religion and
it's
ritual.
not. It's
So
not.
that's where I get, instead of using the term
Like, for
religion,
example-
I would use the term ritual.
Yes, that's
but
what I'm
there's
saying.
also organized.
And think of witchcraft. Think of witchcraft.
Because they do like there's such
Because
different
a lot of
words
shit that
and vibes.
I'm gonna put y'all up on some game.
but they are the same thing.
I'm gonna
They
put
are
y'all up on some game.
Like
A lot of
religion.
the shit that people do in these religions is considered witch. Like for
It
example,
is.
like
True.
in hoodoo people consider hoodoo to be witchcraft.
Yeah.
That's ingrained in Christianity, but the slaves, when they came over to America, they had to hide their religious beliefs and their spiritual practices in Christianity. Like for example, like when we have church, and think of why black church and white church is different.
Oh, so different.
Like the spirit going through this mother.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
could
I
be
say, my-
you could be a person that don't even go to, like, y'all. I'm
Listen,
gonna attest to this.
listen.
I don't go to church. I don't do none of that, and I kind of be looking at people like, I went to my auntie's funeral last year.
Did it last
and I
7
tell you
hours?
that motherfucker was jumping like I'm up. Me and Doobie up. I don't consider myself to be Baptist or none of that
Yeah.
shit, but I'm up.
But baby, you
That
was
spirit
weird.
go
You
through you.
worshiping
It's-
differently.
That spirit go through you. Baby, I'm shouting.
Black funerals are
And this
so long.
energy.
Why are
Yes.
they so long?
Listen.
They're so long.
It's long for a reason
Listen,
too.
listen,
Like that
listen.
energy going through
Listen,
everybody.
listen.
It's an energy, and
because
so it's not
not
necessarily
lying.
witchcraft. It doesn't necessarily mean that things are bad either. You could, let's for example, say you put a cinnamon stick in your
Yeah.
wallet so you could never be broke.
I've
That's
done
witchcraft.
that before though.
That's witchcraft.
I've done the blowing the cinnamon
But
out of your front door at the beginning.
Witchcraft
of the month.
isn't just playing with voodoo dolls or like hexing
That's
people.
crazy. Like you
There's-
would
it's
call
the
that
polarity.
witchcraft.
It's good and bad.
It's
to
the
everything.
polarity, right?
Yes.
To everything there is good and bad. To
Yeah.
the yin, the yang,
Yeah.
the law of duality.
That
To-
is
for-
very much true because think about angelistics, or what is the terminology for it?
Well, that's-
evangelists. They are like the down your throat Christians. Like, oh my God, they're like a little cultish. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like
think
that-
of it like this.
You
The
do
same
say
thing
about
that enslaved
type of Christianity.
the same thing that enslaved black people was also what freed them. what also helped them get
Polarity
through
is
shit.
a crazy.
The same thing that put black people in slavery is the same thing that evoked the emotion into motherfuckers like Nat Turner.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know who Nat Turner is, look him up. That was the one person that they taught to read, and they told him he could only read certain parts.
Yeah.
He was like, well, what the fuck does it say on this part? And he got to that part where it said, because they was reading from the part that slaves had to listen to their master and stuff. You know, people would go off of that.
Yeah.
They used that part of the Bible to enslave people, but they also didn't tell that one part in the Old Testament. That's where an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth come from. You knock your slave's tooth out, bitch, your tooth getting knocked out too. That shit comes from something.
Yeah.
So when he went back and read that, he was like, oh, I got to get it back in blood. And was slaughtering everything. Because guess what? He seen motherfuckers get slaughtered. His wife went through whatever she went through, beaten on and all that. Oh, y'all got to get that back in blood. You got to get that back. What goes around comes around. That's in the Bible.
I just keep thinking.
So
of
the
Bond.
same thing that can enslave one can also...
Free another.
Yes.
Like you said. And it's all the duality, right? It's all how you use things. Again, it's your perception.
As above,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
below.
As above, so below.
When
As
you were
within,
saying
so
that, I was
without.
reciting
I
it.
just
Whoa,
read that.
where
in
was
my
the
head.
bar right there?
Come get
As
it back
above,
in
so
blood.
below. What'd you say?
As within, so without.
As within, so without.
There's more to as above, so
Yeah.
below. That is part of the phrase. It's in this book.
And think about it like that. Everything that you see with like the universe and stuff starts from the atoms. How an atom looks, it looks like a planet. But it also looks like the galaxy. It looks like a universe. Like when you look at how things
Like when you
things
see
are like,
how, like
the
nature
same.
goes
It's all
with
the
DNA
same pattern.
and like the shit.
That's why I think when they say God is everywhere and we're all a part of God and we're God's ourselves. We in his liver right now. We're the liver.
Listen,
or some
but
shit.
you know
We
what?
something like that. That's how I look at it too.
or something like that.
I have a great movie correlation to what you're saying right now. It's Interstellar. Have y'all seen Interstellar?
I haven't seen it, but I've
Matthew
heard of
McConaughey.
it.
Ooh, baby, that's a good one.
That shows you the whole concept of
That
our time
literally
theory, too.
shows
Yep.
you the whole
Interstellar?
concept of what you're explaining.
Yes.
Like you can be
Okay.
somewhere else in the same exact time. Like, and you don't get it until the very end of the movie. And it's like one of the greatest astrological, like spiritual
I gotta
movies
finish
to
it.
watch.
I just seen
It's
the
good.
beginning when it was a
It's
dust
about to
bowl.
leave Netflix. Watch it tonight. We're gonna
Okay.
It's
FaceTime
like
about it tomorrow.
there's a movie too with Keanu Reeves and
Homework
Sandra
again.
Bullock called The Lake House.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, they like communicate through the mailbox and they're in the same house but in different timelines and they can
Ooh,
talk.
I haven't seen that.
Same
Where's that at?
concept.
There was a new one that actually just got released on Netflix.
The guy and his niece
Yeah, and he's trying to save his niece from getting
Yeah.
killed.
I can't
And
remember.
it's a
Don't Let
time
Go.
container.
Or the
Don't
premonition.
Let Go. It's called Don't Let Go.
Yeah,
There we
it's
go.
the little girl that kind of.
He's a police officer.
Uh-huh.
And
But she a biracial girl with like the twisty braids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you
played it?
Zendaya vibes, but not Zendaya vibes.
It's not any big time actors, but it's a really good
No,
movie.
it's not.
Okay.
It's
But
so
this
good.
man is trying to
That
save
kind of
his
sounds like
older.
the premonition too.
Yeah.
It's a little
I haven't-
older.
I
It's
haven't
the
seen
little
it, but I've
girl that
heard
was
the
on the
plot
texting
to it.
movie too. When she was trying to find out her
Storm
mom's
Reed?
killer. When she was trying. Yes, that's her
Storm
name.
Reed. Okay.
So
That's
the,
her name.
The Don't Let Go is like this police
Let me make
officer,
sure.
his brother, wife, and niece get murdered, but he's communicating with his niece in the past from
Well, I'm
the
about to go
future
watch
try to
that
prevent
tonight.
it.
Yes,
and trying
you
to
are
save them
absolutely
all.
right.
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah.
Dang, you had her name on lock. I didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
that was
because
her
she looked
name.
just like my niece. She looked just like my niece. When you
Yeah,
said the
Storm Reed.
the
Zendaya.
biracial looking girl that ain't Zendaya,
Zendaya.
like Storm Reed. You know what's crazy? She ain't even biracial. I thought she was
Actually,
biracial.
I think she is a little sister in Euphoria.
Yeah, she the
Yeah.
little sister in Euphoria.
Yeah, she
Oh, for real? Ah,
Yes.
shit.
Yeah, she is.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do look alike enough to
is.
think they were sisters. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that made me want to watch that movie. Euphoria is good. Show.
They
that's a
did,
good
yeah,
show.
they're about to come out with another season. Shout out Zendaya.
I ain't
She
gonna lie,
is
I'm
one
not
of the
looking forward
highest
to this
paid
next season.
actresses
It's been
now
5
though, in
years.
Hollywood.
Like, what else y'all got to? Okay,
I
y'all
stopped
should have
watching
been.
after season 1. It was good. It was very depressing.
I really liked it, but I just don't
Very-
think it's going
it's
to be
heavy.
the same
It's heavy.
without.
I didn't like it. Like, it
heavy.
was too much energy at the time when it came out for me to continue to
I
watch it.
understand
I
that.
just
And
needed to be
then
in
a show that
space.
shows actual penises is gonna be a lot. anyway. Like, if you like, whoa, there's a dick on the screen. Okay. I could get past titties, but a dick? That's kind of crazy.
HBO's After Dark.
Yeah, like,
Veering the
your grandma come in like, girl, what the hell you watching?
There's nothing
grandma,
attractive about a
Don't
dick
worry
pic.
about it.
All right. I don't know what guys think about penises being looking good. There's nothing about a penis that looks comforting.
Particularly unwarranted dick pics.
Yes.
Like, if I did not ask you for
Yeah.
this, please do not send it
Yeah,
to
don't
me.
send that to me.
Yeah, those are weird, especially on the Snapchat.
So if I ask for it, make it
Snapchat.
good, okay?
Yeah, like,
But
for
if I
real.
did not,
That's harassment. Look, y'all know my favorite thing. If I
harassment.
don't like you, it's harassment.
No, if you're ugly, it's harassment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you be wanting a nigga to say you're beautiful all day long, and the wrong nigga hit your DM with your
like,
beautiful.
I used to feel that way.
Don't
and
look
now
at
I'm
me.
like, I used to feel that same way, and I'm like, it's just a BBL. It's just a BBL for the right one to say it. It's just a BBL. That's what I say about everything now. In spirituality,
BBL.
we call it a synchronicity. Is basically what a BBL is. A bird
That's the
before
title
landing.
of this episode, BBL.
BBL, but not the kind you think.
Calling all your BBLs. The birds before landing.